Wednesday, what is it, November 1st, I guess, and we're here to talk about the new hire for the Park and Rec Public Works maintenance? Yeah. What do you got, Patrick?
TG, you can go ahead and explain to them.
Sure. So me, Patrick, and Dave had interviews with 2 candidates, and out of those 2 candidates, we narrowed down our decision to offer the position. And I called him, and he asked what the pay was, and he said, I declined to accept the position. And I didn't really want him to start negotiating with me over the phone with a salary, because that's not my position. So I thought to take it back to you all to figure out what we want to do. If we want to raise it a bit, me contact him again, or if we want to open it back up. And I'm just giving you some options.
That pay wasn't as part of the posting, what the salary was?
It was.
So he knew what it was.
Right.
He just, yeah.
So options were, it could be to go back to him, offer something, offer a step increase of, start at step 2 or step 3, or go back, open it up, and provide a salary range. And we can include steps 1 through 4 and see if we can get a better pool to interview, and then we can make a decision from
So
there.
were you able to do any background checks before? Did
No.
you pursue that at all?
We couldn't, because there's a process. It takes a couple weeks to get that back.
Okay, can we talk about that for just a second as part of the process?
Sure.
We interview these people, and I think a background check is a pretty important part of the selection. And, I would like to see that as part of the package.
There's always a condition in
Well,
there.
usually it's after acceptance, but so we've got 2 people here, and they were both reasonably good,
The only,
So if we pick one of them and the background check comes back, then we lost the other one, kind of? I would recommend that it be part of it.
I don't know if you can do that,
Right,
because every job the background check comes after I accept the
right.
position. So I don't know if that's possible, legally
Okay,
possible.
well, and if it's not, it's not.
It has to be a conditional job offer
Based on the
background
background check.
check and medical, this and drug.
Are you sure you can't just get them to sign a thing that says, that, yeah, you can do a background check? There's forms for that, and just do it.
I don't know. That's why I wanted
I
to
think if
mention
you
it.
have their signature saying you can do a background check, you can do it.
I know.
You have to have a conditional offer on them before you can do
Not if
that.
they sign
In
the
law
form.
enforcement, I'm not talking about others. In law enforcement, you have to have a job offer before you can do any kind of a background check.
I just think as part of the process, we want somebody to run equipment, just DWI, and if there's one 20 years ago, we could overlook that, but if they had 3 of them in the last 10, that'd be a condition
Right.
or something.
Well,
And
city
so-
administrator, what do you think? Do you have to, can you just have them sign a form saying you can do a background check, or you have to offer them a position? I don't think you do.
Marcia, I think the appropriate thing to do is to look at your group of applicants, decide who you want to hire, and on the application, I think, I don't have one in front of me, but Char, isn't there, if you're offered the position, you're subject to a background check? So we're covered that. I mean, I think we're making a bigger issue out of it before we even have a candidate we look at. And all of the offers that we make are contingent upon a successful completion of a background check. If you have certain individuals that you're concerned they may not pass a background check, then don't interview them. Those are no-brainers. But every job we have, it's always contingent upon a successful completion of a background check. Now, what does that mean? That means that they either pass or they don't. It doesn't mean we get to review it in the history and pick it apart. It just means they pass it or not, correct? Yeah, Char's nodding yes.
I
So,
understand what you're saying.
yeah.
I mean, like, we may have lost the other one.
yep,
We lost him because we should have told Jay to do a conditional job offer right away, so that he didn't have a chance to go interview other people. And brought it to council saying, he has received a conditional.
In the past,
like if they have a second round of interviews, we've done a background check on the finalists.
I just think in this day, you don't get 10 people applying for a job. We had 2.
No, some people do,
Some people do.
not us.
Sarah, do you think that's because of the salary or just because of our location or?
No, salary, for sure.
I think
So
we-
what
I'm
is
just
the-
talking about Breezy where they had 9 applicants for a police officer.
we had one or two. One that we wanted to interview and one that we didn't.
So what is the salary at now, TJ? What's the offer?
1841. And that's step one.
Well, what do you
Does-
think, what do you think, what offer do you think you might accept?
It's hard to say. I mean, if he's comparing to Breezy and some of the other areas, he might have a number of 24. I'm not comfortable with that number with this candidate.
Does
So-
he have any special qualifications that you need above and beyond the job description?
No.
I think we should just keep it open, re-advertise.
How do you want to advertise and how do you want to try to get more candidates for an interview? Because I
Well-
personally think if we set it at the same parameters, we're going to be in the same boat here in 2 months.
I kind of agree, in this day and age, 18, whatever, that's not very much.
It's like a high school's paycheck at 18 something an hour.
And, you know, this position we talked about before, it's mowing grass, it's spin trimming, it's moving snow, but there is responsibility behind that. I mean, you're handling city equipment, you're pulling trailers, you're operating machines in a public setting, so you're gonna get what you pay for, and I'm not saying we need somebody to come in here and make $27 an hour, but if we want somebody to show up on time, get the job done, and help us make the city look nice, we may have to go above 1841.
Shar, what's the pay range for that grade? Is it like 1841 to 24 or something?
2404,
Or, yeah.
that's 2023, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have a real wide range to select from there for that job class?
What's the next step up from
not
that pay grade?
Yeah, 50 cents or something.
What's the pay range for the next
Step one.
step? The next, not step, but the next
Job
position?
class, job class.
If you bump the whole thing up to the next,
I think it's like $2.
We can't
extra.
do that without
No,
union and all that.
That would be a heavy
Forget it.
equipment operator.
well, that's what I was trying to get at.
Well, you
That
have
would-
an
And that'd open up all the unions, everything.
Right.
Well, not
No,
necessarily. You
just
could-
ask me.
That would be a completely
could
different
pull,
job class.
what you're looking at is a different job class. I mean, those job classes are already defined in there. Char, you've got those in front of you. There's a park equipment operator, there's an equipment operator, a heavy equipment operator, and a heavy equipment sewer operator. You know, so what you're looking at is a different job class of person. If you're looking for what Pat and TJ have asked for, is someone to help with the lower level duties that they're performing. So if you want to change that, you can do that. I mean, you've got those job classes in there. It's up to the council to decide which positions they want to fill, not the union.
But it was brought forward to the city council that it was a non-skilled job and that Public Works and Park and Rec were going to use the same person. And unless you want to go out and advertise for an equipment operator, we're in that job range. I mean, that's not fair to the other employees that unless they have some CDL or something more than what our parks maintenance has. I know Public Works is being paid more than that, but
Outstanding characteristics of the person that, I thought both of them were okay. Pat and TJ both preferred the one.
Yep.
And he's a farm kid, and he's had some experience on Bobcat. You know, he didn't proclaim to be an operator, but he did appear to be a pretty well-rounded, get-up-and-go kind of guy, and that was the outstanding feature. I think starting people at $18 an hour is we're looking kind of for high school or somebody who couldn't quite
Seasonal.
get into college or some kind of a position. Both of these people, I would say, were in their mid-30s or something.
If the range is from 1841 to 24 something, can't we just start in a higher end of the range?
You can, but where are the other employee, that, they're in their job class, but where is, like, park maintenance? Are they going to, where is it going to fall in line with park maintenance? Then you're in trouble. You're paying this new position, this new job class, you're starting them out at more than what park maintenance did.
I know, but Marcia, I mean, when they were hired, maybe the economy was different.
I mean, right now, I don't think they're, what step are they at? What the park maintenance, the two individuals, what step are they at?
Josh is in a different class, yeah.
What?
We only have one person in that position.
I thought we had two at Park and Rec.
He got bumped to equipment operator,
Oh, he's equipment
or
operator.
heavy equipment. Sean, I believe, is at step 5.
What's that?
2073,
20?
$20.
So Shar, 4 years ago, what was step 5? What was the pay? Could you
What?
guess at that 4 years ago?
No.
You can't guess at it?
That was in a different contract. She didn't have that in front of her.
Well, I think what you're struggling with is we want someone to do those lower level duties, but we're not finding.
Where's the other
People that-
candidate that you interviewed? I mean, was he just not
Do that.
acceptable? Or she, what, I say he, but.
Not a whole lot of experience, pretty raw.
It'd be a big learning curve.
Right.
Okay. Oh, no, that's fine, I just, but I agree with Marcia, you don't start changing them too much because all of a sudden you run into other conflicts and then you got,
You do that at contract negotiations, union contract negotiations. You change your pay steps at that point. I mean, we did a memorandum of understanding for the police department last fall, and we increased their wages. I guess you could do that, but I'm not for that. I don't think we're in
Not for a new-
dire need of
yeah,
this
not for a new
position.
employee. That kind of locks us into a spot, doesn't it?
I got a couple thoughts on the whole thing, though, is, every time we go out, the cost of everything in this world has gone up by 30% in the last 3 years, unquestionably. And it doesn't matter if you're buying a board or a shirt or whatever it is.
Food has gone up maybe more.
So, that's the point of the question 4 years ago, what was the pay scale? I think we just need to take a good look at everything. It's more important for me to have good people representing the city in these positions, and a few dollars either way, doesn't matter. I think when you guys got Josh, you got a real gift, he's a great guy.
Right, and and if we don't watch, like I've talked to TJ, if we don't watch their pay, Pequot offers them a job,
Yeah,
they're gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Why make the drive, They're loyal to us, they're very good workers, but paycheck and a drive are two
I
things
just think
that
we all
rule
need
ya.
to really take a close look at that, because, we want these people to succeed, and one of the applicants wanted to go and build a house up north here a little bit on one, and how can you do that on $36,000 a year when you got a family?
He ain't gonna.
You just
So maybe,
can't do it.
are we looking for the right grade of employee then? Because, you have a very well-defined position, and you're finding that you're not able to attract a candidate that'll work for what we're willing to pay. So there's two issues. Is the pay for that position not competitive? Or are you looking for a higher skilled employee that you're willing to pay more for?
I would say that I would rather look for a higher skilled who is willing to do the lower skills. We need somebody that's willing to do the whole thing.
I agree with you.
I just think we gotta take a real look at it, because it doesn't matter who we're gonna go to hire. It's, we can't be stuck in 5, 6, 8 year ago salaries with the 3% increase, because the world has changed, unquestionably.
And if we don't put the pay right, all we're gonna be is a training
Yeah.
spot. They're just gonna come in,
Yeah.
get
Word's
their
gonna
feet
get out
wet,
that
and then
Josh
they're
is a
gonna be
good
gone
guy,
somewhere
and,
else.
yeah.
You can pay them a high rate and they can be gone too.
They can, but there's a delicate balancing act there, right? We can always be a training place or hopefully get them and retain the employee.
Is it possible to offer bonuses based on performance?
If
That
they're
kind of-
identified in the contract, possibly.
I mean, could we build that in instead of changing the pay scale?
That can get real easily lost in the weeds.
Yeah, see, one thing that,
Trying to think outside the box.
Yeah, no, I agree, but
yeah, with the contracts we have, you've got well-defined wages that both sides have accepted. What you could do is you consider placement on those wage scales, which is never popular. Some elected officials will say, hey, we need to move these people to a different position on that pay scale that we have within that same job class to keep them happy and attract qualified people. And the other view of that is, well, they should have negotiated that placement when they did the contract, tough luck. So we've got both views. I mean, I'm hearing both views. The problem that creates is it doesn't give you the flexibility to attract and retain qualified people. And that's what, we're not the only ones struggling with this.
The union accepted this pay rate steps scale. I mean, the employees are part of they vote in the union. I mean, if it was too low, they should have said, don't work.
Well, I just feel like we can't keep saying, oh, well, you know, we're not offering enough, so we're not getting any candidates. I mean, look, we're looking for a police officer, and the one we, you know, a great candidate, you know, declined the offer. I mean, I just feel like we need to be realistic about our needs and how we're gonna address it.
I think we moved too slow on him for one thing. We waited almost 2 weeks to give him a conditional job offer. We shouldn't have. We should have done it quicker.
Well, wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, well,
But regardless, if we'd been offering him enough, he probably would have taken it.
he still may have gone elsewhere. He still could have interviewed with somebody else and taken a different job.
So do we want to expand the range for this individual, or do we want to hold off one more go around and just bump it up to $20 instead of $18.41, or do we want to create a range?
I think what's holding us back is our park maintenance staff, Sean. I mean, that's what we're getting to is we would get close to him. I think that's one of the issues we're dealing with. And that's a guy we don't want to lose.
No, we do not
Certainly,
wanna
he's been a
lose
very
Sean.
standout
That would irritate me too.
He's in the
employees,
same
so
pay grade, correct?
I think
He's in the same, okay, Shar answered.
I think there's a double issue going on.
Well, if
It
you
looks
have-
like we have to pay someone more for this new position, but it also looks like Sean is not getting
Add
paid.
more pay to that.
Can we bump up Shane's salary? Sean's?
That's up to
What's
the,
Sean at right now? 22?
Step 5, is what she said.
2013.
If we bumped him to step 7 and offered this guy step 2 or 3, that would add how much to Josh,
To Sean,
or Sean?
$21.99.
So that'd bump him up.
What's the next step after $21.99?
$22.65.
$22.65.
So if you bump this guy that you'd like to have 2 steps, then bump
Him to
2
$22.65.
steps.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Make it equal, and then you're staying within that job classification.
Is it 22.65 close to somebody else or no?
no.
Okay.
And that's what happened with the police. I mean, they hired someone at step 1 instead of start, and then they bumped the other officers up another step or something.
I'm in favor of
That's
doing
what they did.
I am too.
Marcia?
I just think that, you know, you go into the grocery store and they got self-checkouts, you know, people can't find people. I would rely strongly on the department heads to make a decision if this is the kind of person we want to keep during the probation period.
Yeah.
And I think if it is the kind of person we want to keep, I think we should reward him.
I agree. If he's a good employee, we need to,
So we get him
you
in
know,
the
we gotta be
door.
careful on the reward, but yes, we need to reward him a little bit.
Well, and if we got a reward across the board, we do. It's, you know, it's a very small percentage of our budget, but we rely on these people very strong for services in the city.
So am I hearing this
I
group
was just
say,
say, I'll make a motion that we,
before you do that, I just have a question,
Yeah.
if I could, please.
yep.
So if I understand what you're saying are you going to make a motion to direct TJ to go back to the person that declined with a different conditional type offer. And at the same time, if you're hiring, I'm just using this as an example. If you're going to say, we'd like to hire that person at where he fits on step 1 or 2, I'm hearing step 2,
What's that? What's step 2?
whatever that,
Probably.
whatever that step is, and then you would make an appropriate adjustment to your current staff. I can't see where the collective bargaining unit would even want to even discuss that.
Like they'd be fine with it?
They'd be fine with it.
You still have to run it by, don't you? Don't you still have to run it by the union?
You have the job class,
We'd probably do a memorandum
memorandum, you'd say,
of
hey,
agreement.
I mean, we would both have to agree to it.
Right.
And do a memorandum of
wouldn't
understanding.
agree to it.
What step
Candidates might accept
is 2?
a higher offer for that.
That was my question. What would you,
13 for the start.
you guys can make that motion, and then I guess I can have that discussion after as to what you would like me to do if he would decline.
I'll make a motion that we start out a new candidate, the shared candidate at $20, and what was that?
13.
$20.13, and bump Sean up to, what was that, 26 or 27?
2265.
What was the one above that?
Above that,
2265, yeah.
The next step.
2334.
I think I said 22. Let's do 2335, or whatever you just said.
2334.
2334. He's been with us a while.
I second that motion.
Okay, so the $20 one that, we're gonna offer is step 2,
That's step 4.
step 4, okay.
And then we take the other one, Sean, from 5 to
We just went to 8.
That's step 9.
step 9.
I think that's pretty
No,
fair.
I'm fine with it.
Will he be,
How
will he
close
be?
is that then getting to Josh?
While we're in the discussion,
Yeah.
can I add that if he does not accept this, then re-advertise and put in the range and state willing to, willing to offer additional steps based on experience? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Well, then we could go all the way up to step 20 or something.
I would say if you would decline, we could just put in the salary from step 1 to step 4, because you guys are okay with step 4, so we go
Yes.
and we advertise that specific range.
Yes. Yep.
So what happens to Josh then?
Well,
You said it's not even going to be close to Josh.
Jackson said. If
No,
we
you
hire
just, you
up
just said you
3
wanted,
steps,
in
then
your
he goes
motion,
up
you
3
wanted to move him to 9.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Sean.
that's Sean. That's not
I'm
Josh.
saying, if this guy declines, are you just gonna let that go away? I'm asking if that's still in play. If this guy
Oh.
declines and you advertise again, are you still going to?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's where I'm trying to
Yes,
get.
of
I
course.
always misunderstand.
Of course. When you said Josh, I'm like, what? Because we were talking with Sean and the new guy.
I'm
It's okay.
sorry,
You're
Josh,
fine.
Sean, all the same thing.
commensurate on
Well,
experience
listen, I
or
mean,
something to that
You
effect.
know, if they come to us and say, hey, I think I deserve more, well, we can deal with that at the time. I mean,
Do I need to totally redo that motion, or you got it?
I got it.
Okay. Does everyone know what we're voting on?
Restate it.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we start out the new guy at $20.13, or from 18, whatever, the range, 0 to step 4, and then bump Josh, or bump,
Sean.
yes, bump Sean up to step 9, which is the
334.
2334.
and I, once again, will second that motion.
So is he eligible for another step in a month, January 1st?
No,
COLA?
Go
they
to 10?
usually have to
Is he gonna
finish
go to
their
10?
probation period first before they get a step.
How about Sean? Is
Say
he
what?
eligible at first of the year?
I'm sorry, I
Well,
missed,
that would be in the memorandum of agreement.
is he getting a step
That
January
would be in the
1st?
memorandum of agreement.
But
Right, is he
I'm
automatically going to get one?
asking, City council want to give him another step January 1st if you're bumping him up, I don't know.
Oh, you're
3
talking
steps.
about the COLA
COLA.
raised on January 1st, 3.5%.
The contract,
He will
not
not
COLA,
have finished
contract.
probation. It's a 6-month probation,
No,
right?
Aaron, we're talking
Well,
about,
You've got two issues. One issue is if you hire someone and they accept for whatever you're gonna hire them, they complete their probation, that's a different issue. What I think, Marcia, correct me if I misspeak, you're worried about the existing employee. Would they get another step on January 1st? in accordance
I'm
with
not
the-
worried. I just want to make sure everybody understands that this is what we're doing, and it's in the memorandum to say, okay, and then he's going to get another step January 1st.
is the next step like $1
Well, I think you'd want
or
to
COLA?
honor that. Because you're rewarding an employee, saying, hey, we want to put you on a different place on the salary scale, we're resetting it, and then you roll forward with the normal process from
I
there.
was gonna say, COLA is what, another $1, January?
It's a step and a,
Well, it's 2404.
yeah, it's a
Just the
step
top.
and.
Just the top.
That's pocket
Just top
change.
digit.
Do TJ or Patrick have anything they want to contribute or any opinions about this?
No, we've upped it a little bit. Hopefully we can get this gentleman or we'll find somebody else.
And then we can keep Josh.
TJ looks pretty serious, I'm just wondering.
No,
We're gonna go back to that guy.
No, I'm just, was there a motion? Okay, did you guys vote yet or not? No, okay. I'll just hold my comment. I just want to know for sure what you want me to do if it's declined. So I'll let you.
Okay, so we got a motion and a second on this. Let's, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, all in favor.
Now, what's your question, TJ?
So I got some head nods with that. If it's declined, offer or advertise the 1 through 4 and then see who we can get in, correct? Perfect. Okay.
Why don't you advertise the pay scale and say additional steps can be included based on experience? Do you understand what I'm saying? If they don't come in with experience, they shouldn't be asking for much, if anything.
I mean, we just bumped Sean up to step 9 or whatever.
We haven't bumped him till we hire somebody.
That's what I was asking.
Well, now, that's my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion.
I thought we were going to bump him regardless.
Regardless.
Yes, because I think he deserves it.
Because the next candidate, we're gonna advertise with the new
Right.
offer.
On January 1st, he'll be maxed out. Fine, I'll accept that and I'll move forward.
Okay.
No argument. But I still think he needs to say, here's the range. If there are additional skills, we will consider, however that gets worded.
But couldn't those additional skills bring that candidate really darn close to that 2403?
I think TJ understands, we're talking 4 steps max. Okay? Otherwise, if he's that qualified.
If they have a
then he
lot
should
of
be in a
skills,
different-
they're in a different job class.
How is Josh gonna take that? You guys, is he gonna be cool?
I don't, what step is he at in heavy equipment?
I don't know.
Maybe we need to have another city council meeting to really assess some of these wages.
Well, the county is looking at giving their employees 25%.
Who?
The county.
Well, I think the auto unions.
The county, that's why I'm just bringing that up, that the
Didn't
county,
the auto workers just go for like 30%?
25, but I think that's where the county is, right around that mark right now, that they're gonna sell.
Now, is it 25% over 3 years or 5 years?
It's, county is 2 or 3.
When they say they got 25%, that's over a couple of years.
But the county isn't settled yet, so, but that's what I'd heard.
Wow.
But their union contracts must be coming up.
They're in negotiations right now.
Well, they are in negotiation.
Yeah, I think you don't need to revamp the whole.
When I was in high school, I used to make 10, 12 bucks an hour working, and a pickup was 3,500 bucks.
I used
Okay.
to make 75 cents an hour.
So now it's, now a pickup is 75.
I know I'm older.
Point is that,
Well, we've got to,
to me, it's a
I'm
lot
not
more
gonna
important
compare.
to have good people
It's
there.
not relevant.
Yeah, to answer your question about Josh,
You know, saving a buck.
Yes.
I don't know how he will respond,
that's where
but Josh
we're
is someone we
relying on
want to
you,
keep on board.
you know?
And we want to get
Then
him,
let's pay
Oh,
him.
it's-
we want to get him on
Good to have
a
good
range
employees, so
that,
you can turn them loose and not have to worry about them.
Do you want me to go take a look right now and see
Then I
what he's
have
at?
another question.
probably
before we
should.
go any further. Pat? Pat, are we going to have any issues with the rest of your troops?
Oh, I'm sure they're all gonna be looking at it.
I
Well,
think we all
and I don't
need
blame
You
them
know.
for that. I don't-
Right.
I don't object to that.
I think we
But you know, isn't that what the negotiations will be?
Your group
let's-
is all
let's-
well over that, though.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
all over that, but
Oh, I know, I
they're,
understand.
yes, I'm guarantee you they're gonna be looking at it.
Well,
And that's gonna
it-
be negotiations late next year. or whatever.
contract negotiations will start,
So
whatever, next
Let's
fall.
not get too far down off the target here. We're talking about one job class, that's it. Just the job class we're talking about. We're not talking about every employee in AFSCME. We're talking about a job class, that's it.
I'd like to talk about my salary.
Marta,
Okay, so,
did that motion last time.
okay, does everybody agree? If he does not accept, he advertises the pay grade, additional pay can be granted with experience.
Just to 0 to 4, that's it.
Well, but you don't state that. You control that with the
Okay,
offer.
so we're just saying we're gonna you know, there's some steps, there's some wiggle room if you have experience, but internally, we're only going from 0 to 4.
Why,
I'm on board.
advertise it that way and just be done with it and forget about the extra experience. You'll find that out.
I'm fine with that, Aaron.
Okay. Does that answer your question? Okay?
Well, hopefully, this candidate will accept the increased offer and we won't have to deal with advertising. Will you let us know? Will you? Thank you.
Okay.
So moving forward, when you guys do this, you know, time is of the essence, as they say. And I think if we do an interview and we have to wait for 3 weeks, and that, I'm assuming that's why you called this meeting, because you didn't want
Correct.
to wait till Monday.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
thousands of job openings. I want to
right.
be as timely as
So I would
possible.
just encourage you to not stall too much,
Perfect. Motion,
as you did.
Do we want to include a probationary period, or do we?
What's auto,
That's in
That's
the
in there.
contract,
Okay,
we'll
okay.
follow the written contract,
Yep.
which for a new employee would be 6 months.
correct.
Okay.
are all the questions done? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.